Steve Edwards, president of the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and so very proud to be made in New Jersey.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Made in Jersey. I am Jerry Strauss. I am your host. We are here in our luxurious home studio in Hamilton, New Jersey. We are here in the Garden State talking to the coolest people in, from, around, near, and adjacent to the Garden State, as we do each and every time. And we've got a really special guest this time out because this gentleman is not only one of the coolest people in New Jersey, but he is in charge of kind of officially documenting and celebrating some of the most iconic people in the entire history of New Jersey. He is the president of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Steve Edwards is here. Steve, thank you for joining us this time.
It's a pleasure, Jerry. I just such a burden right now, being the most coolest person in New Jersey. I don't think I'm going to live up to that for many of your viewers and listeners, but hey, I'll give it a shot.
Well, you know what? Any guests that we have on this show, the time that we are speaking to them, we consider them the coolest person in New Jersey. So, yeah. So listen, I'm so excited that we caught you, especially at this time on this day, because as we are speaking and recording this, you are getting ready. We are all getting ready to celebrate a really big anniversary. We are talking about 1 full year of the New Jersey Hall of Fame, the physical presence in the American Dream experience, the mall, call it what you will. But it's been such an amazing attraction that I can't believe in some ways is only a year old. In some ways, you have to believe that it's been a very full year for you. What's it been like for you since that attraction, since the Hall of Fame opened its physical doors?
Yeah, it did go quick. Life goes way too quick. We know that. If time creeps up on us, you really got to embrace every single day. But it's exciting. Every time I get to this space, I remind myself that New Jersey Hall of Fame at American Dream in East Rutherford, for those that are listening and watching today, right next to MetLife Stadium in the American Dream complex, which is sort of like Disney World, an indoor Disney World, 20 minutes from Manhattan. Most people haven't been, and they've read about the project. It's a notorious project, but I really encourage your viewers and listeners to go, because it's really a sight to be seen. And so what we did in New Jersey is we created New Jersey Hall of Fame at American Dream. It's a 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art entertainment and learning center. It's very interactive, very immersive, which museums nowadays must be, because otherwise people just get really bored. And we'll talk a little bit more about what is in the museum itself. But the really cool thing, Jerry, is that this is the first of its kind in the United States. There's only 3 state halls of fame. We're one of 3, New Jersey. The other 2, everybody always asks, is South Dakota, believe it or not, and California, which New Jersey inspired the creation of the California Hall of Fame. But nobody, not South Dakota or California or any other state, has created this state-of-the-art wonder, if you will, with holograms and the Model T that Henry Ford gifted to Thomas Edison. We'll talk more about that. It's really an amazing place, and I'm hoping anyone with any kind of Jersey pride, in their bones, comes out and checks it out, kicks the tires, and you're going to feel the Jersey love, and you're going to be proud, as you should be.
Yeah. And listen, we can feel the Jersey love emanating off of you just with those words. And I'm curious, because anyone out there who wants to Google this gentleman and your accolades and your accomplishments and everything you've accomplished in the business world, not everybody who has such a personal level of success also shows such a passion for where they came from. What is it about New Jersey and your history here, and your life in the Garden State that drives you to spend so much time and energy celebrating your home?
Well, listen, I've been here in New Jersey since 1962. That's a long time. It was 3 years, 2 years after Eisenhower was president. I have to remind myself, boy, I'm old. Um, but there is a very much a Jersey pride thing. I'm as proud as anyone that's lived here in the beaches. I'm proud in our citizens and what we achieve for all of our Jersey attitude, for better or worse. I'm proud and I love the mountains and horseback riding and all of that. But that's only one part of the Hall of Fame mission. And I'd be disingenuous if I told you Jersey Pride was the main inspiration drive for me. It's really the other part of the mission, other than honoring our legends. That's the second part. But it's the last part, which is inspiring our children and adults of all ages to realize their highest, best sense of self and to do it for the greater good. And that's what our inductees have done. And I think we live in a world with so many shallow metrics, whether it be net worth or likes on Facebook or clothes or cars. Really, I would love to see personally, and I hate to preach, but I'd love to see, and our organizers, more importantly, not just me, would love to see everyone go back to the beginning of our creation of our Constitution, where the concept of arete, it's ancient Greek wisdom, and it's the soul of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. And you could find it in the ideals of the Constitution. And it means just what I said, realizing your highest, best sense of self for the greater good. Until we in this country start lifting one another for that common cause, our country is going to continue to suffer, in my view. So it's just, I'm very proud of the fact that I've got the most amazing team you could imagine around me that helps. They make me look good as the president of the Hall of Fame. But we're grinding it out every day to try to inspire, again, not just children, but people of all ages to chase their dreams. And it's never too late to chase your dream.
Yeah, and it makes, when you think about the selection process of who is chosen to be a part of the Hall of Fame every year, it makes those choices, it makes them so important because they have to be symbols for that inspiration that you're looking to convey to Jersey and beyond. What actually goes into that? What would you, for those who are unfamiliar with the Hall of Fame, what is the process like to bring someone to candidacy and then to narrow down and select who's going in this year?
It's a very grassroots policy, and it has been that way since the inception of the Hall of Fame. Our first ceremony was back in 2008, so we started the first selection process back in 2007. First of all, we have a master list, so I encourage you and any of your listeners to go to our website, njhalloffame.org, and make any nomination you want to make for a deserving New Jersey. And the only criteria, they need to have lived at least 5 years of their life in New Jersey. And that's the strictest criteria. South Dakota and California, it was live any portion of your life. We have the strictest criteria. It's got to be 5 years. Yeah. So we have this master list. It's well over probably a couple thousand names by now. And we have an expert panel every year, right around January, that narrows down to the top 125 names. Our board of trustees, makes the final decision about that 125. And then we hand it off to over 350 prominent New Jersey organizations and individuals, like former governors, as an example. The Academy, we call it, narrows down to the top 60, 10 names in 6 different categories that encompasses more than 15, 20 fields of interest. I think it's up to 20 now. And we then put those names, the top 60 names, on a public ballot, and we invite New Jerseyans to go online and give us their top choice in each category. And then the Board of Trustees makes the final decision with the public's input. And every year we induct anywhere from 15 to 22 people, all walks of life. Obviously, we want to induct people South, Central, and North. We want to induct people, all, ethnic groups, all religious groups, not in a politically correct way, just in a, what reflects reality. Because I think, well, your viewers, you certainly know that New Jersey's a melting pot.
Of
We're the
course.
most densely populated state. We're the most diverse state in the entire United States. And when you look at what our citizens have, the achievements that they've contributed to society and the world beyond, it really is people from all walks of life. And so every year we have another diverse class and an amazingly accomplished class of inductees. We've got our next class will be announced, I should point out, Tuesday, the 24th, next week.
Mhm.
And then we have our next induction ceremony, which will be at the American Dream Complex, Friday, November 21st, on
Wow.
the ice skating rink, just steps away from our museum. And so that's going to be exciting. But I appreciate you asking, because it's one of the most commonly asked questions. How do you guys decide?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's an amazing process, even more so when you realize how rare it is that a state is taking the time, and there's people who have that pride and have that dedication and commitment to create this organization to to create these celebration opportunities, because that's really what this is it's a year-long opportunity to celebrate and inspire through that celebration of those who have done great things, so that more people can do great things. And now, almost 1 year in, you've got this place where people can go, and they can not just hear about it or read about it, but they can see and they can hear and they can feel and experience, uh, and just be a little bit more connected to some of those great accomplishments and things. Why would you say, going back to
Sorry
before?
about this. My
Yeah, it's
phone,
okay.
I apologize.
It's okay. Um, Going back to the process of getting to the American dream, of creating this physical space, why was now the right time in the history of the Hall of Fame to do this? And what was the process like from the conception to actually cutting the ribbon?
Well, now I'm going to admit my naivete.
Oh,
That's the portion of this interview, because I honestly thought I was so too optimistic. I honestly thought that we'd have a museum, bricks and mortar, after the first 5 induction ceremonies. We did not have a bricks and mortar in museum until 15 induction ceremonies.
hmm,
Let me start from the beginning. The challenge was, it was a great idea, but there's always a lot of great ideas that are circulating. So the challenge was having the first induction ceremony and showing the state leadership, state officials, and the people of New Jersey that this was real. And it goes back to 2008 when we finally had that induction ceremony, and it's one of the most incredible moments, and one of my proudest moments, not just for me, for all the organizers. When we started that ceremony, um, we had, saluting the audience, 2,000 people at the Performing Arts Center in Newark. General Schwarzkopf,
hmm,
Tony, the light just kept shining on these people. Toni Morrison, Buzz Aldrin, Yogi Berra, Nancy Sinatra accepting for Frank, Bruce Springsteen at the end. I'm missing other incredible names.
hmm,
It was an incredible moment, and I think many people around the state said, wow, this is real. So that you can put then the idea of the museum in their head, and they could believe that that part is real.
yeah.
And then a friend of mine from Los Angeles in the entertainment industry said, well, Steve, that was terrific, but you're going to have to do it a second time. And even when you do it a second time, people are going to say it was a coincidence. When you
Well,
do it the third time is when the first time they'll say it was an accident. The second
uh,
time, a coincidence. The third time will
uh,
be when they say, okay, this is real. And we did that. And we had just incredible personalities each year gracing the stage at the Performing Arts Center in Newark.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. You still, to build a museum, you need a good business plan, and frankly, museums are challenging. And you need more than a good. Once you have that business plan, you got to raise a ton of money. Our museum cost $20 million, and that's a daunting task to raise
Wow.
that. So, after 5 ceremonies, we all got antsy that it was such a high mountain to climb, and we wanted to celebrate in a physical way, because as you shrewdly pointed out, that when people can go and they can see it and feel it, it becomes so much more next level. So what we did was with Michael Graves, one of our inductees, world famous architect who unfortunately passed away several years ago. But at the time, he helped us to design a mobile museum, an 18-wheeler tractor trailer, 1,000 square feet, state of the art. And we created a little mini Hall of Fame museum, and we took it on the road. In 3 years, 300,000 people came on board, and that was without us really marketing and trying hard. A lot of people came to us. So the bottom line is that even when we did that and we showed people that this is real, um, it still was challenging because you're talking so much money.
Sure.
And then the other challenge is, where do you put it? There are so many great cities that were interested. We talked to everyone from Atlantic City to Newark to Patterson and New Brunswick and so many. The problem is with a museum, as great as those cities are, you need foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
You need a lot of people passing by. And that's when we finally decided. I went to John Hanson, who has so much history in the state, so many achievements. He's now the chairman of the Hall of Fame. We went to John. I went to John with Al Leiter, former pitcher with the Mets and Yankees. We said, come on, let's do this at American Dream. And he paved the way with the Garmasian family. And then the Murphys got on board. They've been amazing to the Hall of Fame, as has Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, Senator Nick Scutari, Gary Taffet, and Kevin McCabe. So many people came together to make this a reality. But it wasn't easy, but the things that are not easy and that you achieve, there's no question, are the most fulfilling at the end of your life and even before them.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden here we are. It's been 1 year of buzz and excitement and success and special events. And for those that, as you alluded to before, there's a lot of people out there who have still yet to not only make the trek to the Hall of Fame, but to the American dream in general. So, what an opportunity to go and experience everything that they have over there. But for those who have not yet seen this place in action or visited the website, of course, you can do so at njhalloffame.org. But give us a bit of an elevator pitch of some of the highlights, some of these amazing next level attractions that you'll find there. Because, yeah, I mean, you talked about it. There's holograms, there's all kinds of amazing displays that you might not think about when you think about a typical Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, you're standing outside the place and you say, wow, if you're from New Jersey, this is great. Why did it take so long to create a New Jersey Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
And all the people that are at the American Dream Complex from outside of the state kind of scratch their head and say, who knew? I always think of, I hate to say it, but all the negative press that we get, and mobsters and environmental dumps. A lot of people, unfortunately, think of New Jersey in that ridiculous way.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, you see this place, and then all of a sudden you see the Model T that Henry Ford and Thomas Edison and Henry Firestone used to take road trips in. It was then the Model T was gifted to Thomas Edison in 1933. It's worth an obscene amount of money. It's incredible that it's there on display for many, many years and generations, hopefully, to come. And you get to see that. And then right behind it is a 4D motion ride simulator. And so you go on that ride and you experience what it was like to ride in the Model T back in 1933. But then it morphs into a spaceship. And the Kelly brothers, Senator Mark Kelly, from Arizona, but he's from New Jersey. He's from West Orange.
Yeah.
He and his brother, Scott Kelly, two former NASA astronauts, narrate that. And you actually experience moving around, what it's like to take off into outer space. You land on the moon. You got to get past asteroids that are coming at you. And then you land on the Jersey Shore, of course. Where else would we want people to land?
Sure.
So that's a really cool 10-minute experience. You go in the back of the museum, we've got a hologram karaoke stage. You can actually get on the stage and you sing alongside holograms of Frankie Valli and Gloria Gaynor and Tommy James and Wyclef Jean and so many others. And it's pretty incredible. We filmed all these folks in New York and Los Angeles. You sing alongside them and you can take video and then share the video if you dare on media. I just sang with Tony Orlando, Tie a Yellow Ribbon, and I did not share it on social media. As good as I thought I was, man, when I saw the video, I said, oh, man, I suffer from what my mom suffers from. She thinks she sounds good until she hears it.
And we're talking about the actual Tony Orlando. You had the event with him recently, right?
Yeah, Tony, he's become a dear friend. He is a man who has a heart of gold. He's so talented, but he's also done so much for veterans in America. And he's had a career that spans 63 years. Can you imagine that? I'm 60. I'll be 63 in September. It's like going back 3 lifetimes ago. He was there. He was an example of all the programming that we're going to do all year. We were going to do over 100 programs a year. And bottom line is that he addressed the crowd. We had a few hundred people there that day. And then at the end of his Q&A and his presentation, he sang Tie a Yellow Ribbon. And it was so amazing to see the audience get up on their feet and sing along with him. And I looked out and I saw, Jerry, the diverse group that we talked about of New Jerseyans and wherever they were from. And they came together in that moment. It's power of music, you know?
It's the power. I venture to say it's the power of the diversity, you know, as you spoke to, of Jersey and all the really great people and all the really great things that they've done that are associated with this state. Because I'm thinking about a guy like Tony Orlando, and of course, you know, you'd mentioned Frank Sinatra before, Springsteen. You always think about those legends, the classics. But, you know, I also think of guys like, you know, someone you can cheap plugs, see our interview with right here on this YouTube channel, Kevin Smith, someone who is, you know, much more current. Wyclef Jean, you mentioned, and those who are just doing really amazing things now. And you guys cover all of that.
We do. And I'll tell you a good Kevin Smith story. He got inducted last year, and last year was a virtual ceremony. So we had a number of the inductees actually came to our museum, and we recorded their acceptance speeches. Meryl Streep came, Phil Simms came, and others. But Kevin Smith came, and he recorded his right next to the 4D motion ride simulator. And of course, for those that don't know, Kevin Smith is an acclaimed director. He's done so many iconic movies, Dogma and Clerks, and so many others. Mallrats would be another one. Yeah. And Kevin was recording his acceptance speech. And I know he wouldn't mind this because he's a sentimental guy and he's a vulnerable guy. He started to cry when he talked about what New Jersey means to him. And he admitted that he had wanted to be inducted for so many years. Because let's face it, you think about it, whether it's for Bruce or Meryl Streep, Edison, Einstein, and Kevin Smith, you know what I mean? Like that, does that put it in perspective, right? So when you could be included, and we had like 260 inductees, you know, and there's been tens of millions of people that have lived in New Jersey over the years. When you could be in that company, you know, you have arrived, you've made it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, you get to be a part of that eternal pantheon that will be celebrated not only in the Hall of Fame at large, but in this physical space, which is just, you know, getting more and more buzz, more and more excitement. And now we're building towards this this really cool event you have. This is the 28th, right, of June as we're speaking. You're having your anniversary event actually on location.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you have planned for that day.
I'll be honest with you. We have a team led by Leo Erline, Brian Blaney, and Tammy Uzel, and so many others that are putting together the final touches. So I don't want to get ahead of them. These
Okay.
things change. So I don't want to promise anything that I shouldn't. But here's what I can say.
Mhm.
People will come to this thing. If they haven't been to the museum, they're going to be blown away by what they see. I mean, I've described the karaoke stage. I described the Model T and the motion ride simulator. They'll also sit, if you're from Jersey, you'll sit in our Jersey Proud movie theater and see a 10-minute film that will bring goose pimples to your arms. It's just amazing what kind of talents come out of Jersey. You can then move over to the late night Jersey television studio, hologram television studio, and interview like you're, Jay Leno, or I'm dating myself, Johnny Carson, go back, Conan O'Brien, or whoever. And you're able to interview holograms of over 50 legends. Frankie Valli, why do you consider yourself a Jersey boy? And Wyclef Jean, how do I reach the pinnacle of the music industry? And so the bottom line is that it's a pretty unique experience. So yes, you'll come out for this celebration and help us celebrate this momentous occasion, but it's going to be unique. You've never been, your viewers have never been to a museum like this, I don't think, because there's only a handful around the world that
Yeah.
is hologram centric. So the other thing I should say is that the museum's adjacent, just steps away, to the DreamWorks water park, which is
Yes.
an amazingly entertaining place,
Mhm.
and the Universal Nickelodeon theme park.
Mhm.
Again, just so much fun packed in these two, I shouldn't say small spaces, but short distance from one another. And so if your guests come out for our celebration, I'd encourage them to try one of those attractions. And then there's hundreds of other
Mhm.
places to eat and other exciting entertainment attractions. You're not going to regret it.
Absolutely. It's going to be an amazing day. It's a great day trip. It's just a great day trip to go there any day, but certainly I would certainly encourage people. I'm going to try to be there myself, to be there on that anniversary day, and be on site for all the excitement. So um, I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what's coming for the Hall of Fame in the physical space in year 2 and 3, and all the events you said, over 100 a year that you guys are planning to do. So seems like a nonstop source of more entertainment for all of us. So thank
Yeah.
you for all of your efforts in being the driving force in bringing this thing to reality.
Well, I appreciate that. And there are many driving forces, but I'll accept the compliment on behalf of all of our amazing team members. But yeah, it's a labor of love, to be sure.
Well, listen, before we let you go, we have to catch you with the same thing that we do with each and every one of our guests on every single edition of Made in Jersey. Are you ready for the Jersey Dozen?
Oh, I love it, man. This is going to be my favorite part. Let's do it.
All right. We start things off pretty easy, or maybe not. Favorite Jersey Shore town?
The one where I have a house, that would be Pihala Park, which is on Long Beach Island, right next to Brant Beach by the Acme supermarket. That would be my favorite Jersey town, no
Uh,
doubt.
Easy, easy. All right. What do you consider the quintessential New Jersey show? Is it The Sopranos? Is it Jersey Shore? Or do you have a your own write-in vote?
Jersey, the ultimate Jersey show. Well, clearly the iconic Sopranos comes to mind for what it was, which was not necessarily just a show about mobsters. It was about humanity. I think that's what David Chase was really striving for. So Sopranos would be up there. Jersey Boys Broadway show would be up there. And the Jersey Shore is not my favorite, and I'm not knocking the cast and the producers and so forth. And it certainly captures some of what I saw growing up, and on the Jersey Shore. I remember Seaside Heights was a place that kind of brought characters out for better or for worse. But the best Jersey show is driving up and down the Parkway and Turnpike every day. And it's meeting all of my character friends who, by the way, love to bust my chops. As Jason Alexander said when I interviewed him for our hologram studio, he goes, he isolated. He said, "Boy, we got to talk about busting of chops because New Jerseyans are really good at it, and particularly our family and friends busting the chops the most."
Absolutely. That's the best answer we've gotten so far for that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Favorite pizza? What's your favorite pizza in the whole state?
Oh man, there's so many great places. I'm just going to default just to what popped in my head, and I'm not saying it's my favorite, but Sun Tavern. I haven't been there in years, but Sun Tavern in Roosevelt Park. I devoured a pie at the bar once, and I'm like, where are the next 8 slices? I was ready to keep going, but I mean, there's just 100, 200 places that I think are on the same level.
Okay, fair enough. Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Oh man, I can't. I listen to both. I think they're both amazing, man. How do you not? I was sitting in the car eating ice cream with my 13-year-old daughter last week. We do that, and we get the ice cream. I sit and I want to go back in time to the 70s. I put the radio on, and we sit out in my driveway at the beach. And a Bon Jovi song came on, "Living on a Prayer." And my daughter said, "Daddy, he's good." and she likes Jonas Brothers, Taylor Swift, and
right.
And I said, "Yeah, he is really good." And then, of course, Bruce, has entertained us and inspired us and spoke to our hearts for the past 45 years, since the early 80s for me. So that's a tie, my friend.
All right. That's the first tie we've had there, but I like that. He's good. He's good, that Bon Jovi. He's gonna make it someday, I think.
That's right.
Best live show memory? What a concert that you've seen somewhere in the state? What's a great memory?
I would say Rolling Stones at the Prudential Arena. I was standing next to Cory Booker, who was mayor at the time of Newark, and we looked at each other like, holy shit, and these guys are still doing it. The funny thing is, this was probably like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I go back to 1981, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. I was in college at the time. The Stones were in their, 68, 78. They were probably like 39, 40 years old.
Right.
And they came out, Under My Thumb was the first song. And I couldn't believe that these old rock and rollers,
Right.
These dudes were like in their 40s and they've been doing it for so long and they're like an institution. If you told me that I would see them again and say the same thing like 30 years later,
Right.
mind-bending.
Unbelievable. Parkway or Turnpike?
Well, I will say this because now we got another tie, my friend.
Okay. Wow.
And that is because the Parkway and Turnpike officials, Diane Scaschetti and Leo Schaefer and Jim Cerrone, have been so amazing to the New Jersey Hall of Fame. You may know that what we've done is because of them and the First Lady, Tammy Murphy, got involved. We renamed all the service areas after New Jersey Hall of Fame inductees. And then we've created little Hard Rock Cafe exhibits at each one. Very entertaining and interactive and immersive for those that stop over to get a burger or do whatever else they're going to do. But we also have exhibits on the Turnpike as well. But if you're gonna push me on that one, I'm gonna say the Parkway because that's how I got to the Jersey Shore when I was a kid. And my dad graduated medical school at the PNC Art Center on the Parkway on a beautiful day with all those beautiful trees. So the Parkway has a special place in my heart.
That's the most sentimental answer we've gotten yet about a highway. Um, best place to grab a beer.
The best place to grab a beer is my couch, but that's besides the point. Um, I well lately it's been um, I'm blanking out on the name. The Yard House, I think it is. It's at American Dream, and it's not far from our museum. That's a great place, and there are many other places at American Dream to get a beer. But if you're going to push me on that one, I'm going to say Terrace Tavern on Long Beach Island. They got
Oh,
a bar that I love sitting at having a beer.
all right. Pork rolls or bagels?
Oh man, pork roll on a bagel, on an everything bagel. Next question.
Next level. That's brilliant. Oh, this may be a layup here. Favorite mall?
Favorite mall? Well, yeah, I mean, American Dream. This I'm glad you brought this up. Everyone's
Do we even consider it a mall?
It's not
That's
a mall. I mean, if
right.
you just go there, and I just want to challenge your viewers to look around. You don't see the Gap, and with all due respect to the Gap and a Verizon store, you're seeing things that you would never see it in a mall. You're seeing water park that is just next level water park. You're seeing one of the steepest, I think, the steepest roller coaster drops in the world at this
Mm,
point. So they build another one in Dubai or wherever, but it's not a mall, it's an entertainment complex, and like I said earlier, it's sort of like Disney World. So we'll put that aside. I'll say favorite mall growing up, it was the Woodbridge Mall.
mm.
Livingston Mall was up there, but Short Hills Mall would be my favorite mall.
Okay. Um, so great segue from a couple of minutes ago. We're talking about the rest stops and the rebranding of the rest stops. What is a Jersey? Who is a Jersey icon that has not yet been attached to one of these rest stops? But if there were another rest stop, who would be next in line?
It would be impossible to answer it. I mean, first of all, you always hear authors say this, and it's a cute answer, but it's true. I got so many children, you know.
Right.
There's so many. I get how you can't ask me to choose between a child. It's such a subjective thing. We picked icons for the different rest stops, but there could have been just as so many more, dozens more that could have easily replaced who was chosen. At the end of the day, you got to choose somebody,
Yeah.
and that's what happened there. But nobody's like in line next, and there are no more service areas. The service areas on the turnpike are named after Jersey historical figures like Thomas Edison.
Mhm.
So there's not going to be any renaming of sites there. And unless we take over Delaware or New York and Connecticut and create more service areas,
Yeah.
you're not going to see anymore, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Two more. And this is sort of a geographical allegiance question, really. New York teams or Philly teams? Where do you naturally lean?
I grew up in Union, New Jersey. I was one of the rare breed. People will make fun of me for being the rare breed, but I felt like if the Mets were in first or the Yankees were in first, I needed to cheer for them because people from outside of New Jersey do not discriminate against making fun of us. Okay. So we got to stick up for the teams that are in our backyard. I probably was more a Yankee fan uh, than a Met fan, but I did love both of them. And then Giants and Jets, I felt the same way. I do feel I'm one of those guys. A lot of people will roll their eyes, but I do feel like New Jersey's not shown enough love when they say New York Giants and the New York Jets. I'm not saying change the name, but maybe just play up New Jersey more, with all due respect to our teams. But I'm proud of both the Giants and the Jets, even though there's not a lot to be proud of in recent years necessarily, but we've got such an incredible history,
Yeah.
and having won Super Bowls, both teams. So, you got to remember that too. You got to remember the positive.
Yeah, and especially with I mean, just sort of that natural bias now of the Hall of Fame being located basically in the shadow right next door to MetLife Stadium, where so much of, you know, so much of that is going on.
You just gave me a great idea. We should rename it the New Jersey Hall of Fame Stadium. How does that sound? And we'll let MetLife have our space. It could be called the MetLife Stadium. I'm going to make that offer today.
I like it. We'll send them this episode immediately.
Exactly.
Final question. This is open ended, and it's up to your imagination. We ask you to just a brief, powerful statement. All we ask, and this is what we ask for all of our guests. Make it kick ass. Why do you love New Jersey?
I love New Jersey because it's my treasure of memories. All of the most important milestones, most of them happened in New Jersey. I love New Jersey for the relationships, all the positive, incredible relationships I've had with people, all the many times they made me laugh. I went to college in New Jersey. I went to Rutgers. So many great memories. I built my business in New Jersey. So I have, to this day, amazing clients that have helped pay my family bills, and I've helped them, in the business ways, that I've done that. I love it because obviously the Hall of Fame has been some of the most cherished memories of my life, from the induction ceremonies to the mobile museum to the service areas to the museum. So, if my life were to end right now and somebody put me on the spot and said, New Jersey, what does it mean? I'd say it means my life, all the positive. And it's a tremendous state, man. It's an honor to be able to do what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's amazing to feel how your love of this state bleeds through, and all the efforts that you've obviously given to help create this space that can help all of us celebrate New Jersey a little bit more. Of course, we are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the physical location of the New Jersey Hall of Fame this on Saturday, June 28th. But if you can't make it down that day, just make it down. Just get down there, experience all there is to see, check out the American Dream, and of course, learn more about it at njhalloffame.org. It's an awesome place, and this has been an awesome conversation. So I do appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you.
Jerry, great job. Thanks for that little commercial at the end, and it's been a real pleasure. I appreciate it.
Likewise. And thank you guys for checking us out here on Made in Jersey. We will see you next time with more great guests from the Garden State. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep doing all the things that you do to help us continue to grow. And we will see you next time. Thank you.